Today I'm going to show a quick, simple repairing of a small piece of office furniture. Okay, now this is not fine furniture. I know how to do that and we'll perhaps do future videos on that. This is a quick, simple repair of an inexpensive piece of particle board furniture. Okay, so it's something that perhaps was tossed out or replaced by your employer or that you found street side. Okay, so something you can repair and make usable. Now, I grew up with the expression waste not, want not, which dates back to the days of our nation's founding and is quintessentially American. Okay, frugality is an essential life skill. Now, I retired at age 60, but financially could have retired 4 or 5 years earlier if I'd wanted to, because I was frugal. Okay, frugal doesn't mean cheap. Okay, it means not wasteful. Anyway, let's have a look at a simple repair that you could do and make something usable. Okay, so this is just a simple office paper sorter. Okay, as you can see, it's falling apart. What I'm doing here is prying out some little nails that somebody had tried to repair this with. Okay, nails, do not work particularly well in particle board. Okay, they just don't hold very well, and so it was a short-lived repair. Okay, it wasn't going to hold this together. So the first thing I need to do is get all these little nails out. Okay, because they're interfering with putting it back together. There are wooden pegs there that will line it up, and so that's fine. But we've got to get the nails out and then reassemble this in a more stable configuration. Okay, so. Trying hard to do this on camera for you, which makes for some awkward positioning of the components, but that's just the nature of shooting video by yourself. Okay, and saving those nails because some of them I'm going to reuse. The straight ones. Waste not, want not. Okay, lining all the shelves up, getting the end back in. Okay, so it's reassembled, but as you can see, it's still not very strong. It racks a little bit, it twists, not going to hold together by itself. Okay, now normally I would have left this upright and done what I'm going to do, allowing gravity to hold it together, but you wouldn't have been able to see as well on video. So I'm just going to tip it sideways and put a clamp on it, so that we can get a close-up and you can see how I'm going to repair this in a more permanent fashion than the little screws, or than the little nails. And we're going to use screws. Okay, so screws will hold much better in this particle board. Okay, and the first thing you need to do when you're screwing into particle board is you need to pre-drill it. Okay, putting on my hearing protection, and so I'm going to pre-drill Using a little device here that drills and countersinks, so it makes room for the head of the screw to sink into the wood, and then it quickly flips around to provide a screwdriver for driving the screws in. So it's a very handy little add-on to your power drill. You can't see it well here, but you'll see it later. So just small fine thread drywall screw. Hold that tight and screw it in. And that's going to hold much, much better than the nails, because the threads draw the two pieces of wood together and bite into the particle board. Okay. Now that's kind of ugly, but there are these little plastic wood grain caps that you can buy them, or I just saved these from other pieces of furniture that I had repaired or that I had assembled that had extras, and so you just stick those into the head of the screw, and they're nicer looking than the raw hole and screw. So little plastic screw covers. Okay, now we have to do this all over. I'm tapping in a little nail here. Okay, one of the ones I saved. The cardboard backing on these cabinets and bookshelves and things like that, while decorative, also serve a function of keeping it from racking or twisting. Okay, so it is structural. It's not structural in any dimension other than the twisting dimension, but it does hold things at right angles and keeps them from twisting and makes it much more rigid. Between that and the screws, this would be a nice rigid cabinet. So I pre-drilled that. Stick a screw in. You can see you just slip the thing out, the drill out, and reverse it, and you have the right sized screw bit, and screwing that back in. And one more. Now, I'm not going to bother putting little caps on these screws because they're at the bottom and nobody's going to see them. Turn around, and now we have to do 4 screws in the other end. Now the other end wasn't as loose, but as long as you're doing the repair, you might as well do the whole thing and never worry about it. Now, this cabinet probably should have been designed using screws, okay, instead of just the wooden pegs. The wooden pegs were probably tight enough when it was first put together, but loosened up over time. This is a design for sorting or storing papers or forms, so you got a fair amount of weight in those little shells, exerting forces. Plus, once you assemble these things, if you move it from office to office over the years, they don't take to being carried and moved around a lot. This kind of furniture is just not designed to withstand those sort of forces. It's just an inexpensive build it once, use it once type of furniture. But that doesn't mean we can't improve it and make it more useful. Okay, putting a couple of those little covers on the top screws. Sometimes they're a little stubborn and don't just push in. You just have to give them a little whack. Now, what are we going to do with this paper sorter shelf? Well, you could put it back into office duty. If you have a lot of forms that you need to sort, you could turn it sideways, suppose, and use it as a bookshelf. Or now you have a nice handy workshop sandpaper sorter. So I hope you enjoyed this little repair video, and take it on yourself to attempt some repairs if you've never done this before, and salvage something and make it useful in your workshop or wherever.